Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and thanks for joining me again. This time we're testing 10.69.2 on roundabouts like we did on the previous versions. So this is the same set of quite intricate, complicated roundabouts north of Victoria near the Victoria International Airport here. So we're coming at this one from the north. This is the road on the east side of the highway. Heading towards the airport, so through two roundabouts at least, or three of them. So let's see what happens here. So we're getting in the right hand lane, that seems to be working okay. Fair bit of traffic coming into the roundabout. So the first step, I believe, is that we have to get out of the right lane because the right lane merges onto the highway. Let's see what happens. It's waiting for that vehicle. And it does get into the correct lane, and then it merges into the proper lane to make it smooth. So far so good. Checks, take a little bit of extra time there to get into the roundabout. It does get into the correct lane, a little bit of hesitation there, and fairly smoothly exits the roundabout. So quite good. So at this point it's still looking a little bit better than the previous version. This is a simple roundabout with no traffic here, so no problem there. Let's move on. I get the car turned around here and we go back the other way through a couple roundabouts heading to the airport this time. There's the route. You can see we come out that simple roundabout, around the large roundabout, and then continuing through two more roundabouts near the airport. Let's see how we do here. I had to nudge it here a little bit to get it going. You can see the creep line on the screen there. That's the new feature. And off we go. So here comes the first mini roundabout. Let's see how it does. There's not a lot of traffic here right now, so that of course helps the situation, but it's mostly just testing the lane selection in these large roundabouts. So here, make sure we don't go in the right lane. That's correct. Getting into the roundabout, there's a vehicle coming on our left here, so we have to wait for that. A few more vehicles. In we go. Get through here, bit of hesitation, bit of jerking on the steering wheel, but in general, oh, there's a swerve into the right lane, but in general, pretty good, and it's merging back into the left lane immediately following, which is actually the correct thing to do because there's a merge lane there, so not bad overall. And I had to nudge it a little bit, so I marked it down as an intervention and a bit of jerky steering, I think. So here we are heading towards the airport now. There's two more roundabouts here, one just before the airport and one just at the airport. So let's see how we do here. Okay, here we are. So a little bit of traffic, but it's basically clear when we get there, so we sail right through. Not much hesitation. Pretty smooth going through it, so not too bad. I'm pretty sure those are better than the previous version, so I'm glad we found something that's improved on 10.69.2 compared to 10.12.2. If you watched my previous video, you'll see that essentially I hadn't really found anything that had improved and quite a few things that had gotten worse. If you haven't seen it, please go back and watch it if you're interested, and please like and subscribe to the channel. That really helps me keep motivated to keep these videos up if you're interested. So here's the last roundabout coming up going this direction. It's just by the airport here. I believe it's a single lane roundabout, but I can't quite remember off the top of my head now. We'll see in a second. So again, clear traffic, pretty easy. Here's some weird lane stuff here. It struggles with a little bit, but it does end up selecting the proper lane and exiting out the back. So again, fairly well done. If you look back at my videos from the last version, you'll see I think we struggled a little bit more on the previous versions there. So we've got ourselves turned around again. We'll go back through the same few sets of roundabouts. The ones by the airport and then across the highway. So let's see, last little bit of testing, see if it can continue the streak of fairly decent behavior here. So we have to stay on the right hand side of this this roundabout, wait for this vehicle. Oh, actually had to slam on the brakes there because it was going to go right through it. And also it didn't stay in the right-hand lane, it just kind of veered all over the lanes completely. I was trying to keep up to paying attention to the road and try to score it at the same time. So really that was a pretty significant fail there. I don't think it was going to stop and wait for that car, and it kind of got pretty confused on the lane keeping there. So starting to see some cracks, similar to what it was like on the previous version where it really didn't do that well. Let's see if we can get back on the positive streak here through the last set of 3 more, I think, coming up before we're done. So in general, as I mentioned on the previous video, most things I'm finding are pretty much the same. The most serious behavior that I've seen that's worse than the old version was turning and merging into vehicles that are clearly there and visible on the screen. I'm not sure what's going on there, and also not paying attention to pedestrians and blowing through crosswalks when pedestrians are waiting. So not very good to see stuff like that. Hopefully they can fix it pretty quickly. So that again was a fairly simple one. Blew right through that one, no problem. So here's the double set of roundabouts coming up. A couple cyclists there on the right hand side. It seems to do okay with cyclists and not flinch when they're in their proper bike lane. Okay, so here we need to stay on the, oh, it just merged over to the right and merged over to the left again, just swerving all over the lanes without really signaling much at all. So I disengaged there to deal with that. So fail on that one. And the last one, coming into it. I believe I had to nudge it forward a bit there because it wasn't going. And then it splits into 2 lanes. We get into the left lane, we get into the right lane, veering all over the place, and then do eventually choose the right lane to get out of it. So again, another fail. So on the way there, it was looking so good, and on the way back, pretty much as bad as the previous version. So maybe it was just luck the first time. Here's another little neighborhood I was playing around in, and one of the things I wanted to show here by putting this clip in is the behavior when, I guess, dealing with speed bumps here. I had to disengage to slow down for them. And also coming up here in the left turn, I believe there's the error showing where it pulls into traffic without yielding to traffic. This is a very tight little residential roundabout. It actually managed to do it fairly well. You can see that navigation error popped up in the middle of the roundabout where it was flip-flopping back and forth between left and right, even though the navigation was clearly to the left. So here we're coming up to a left turn on a fairly simple 2-lane road. It stops way back and then starts creeping. The creep line seems to be, I guess it's correct. It looks like it's in the middle of the road there. But so we stick our nose out here quite a ways. It's hard to see in the video. But I did end up disengaging because it was pulling too far out. So then I waited for traffic to clear and then turned it back on. So the creep behavior that they've added doesn't really seem to be quite correct. We'll see if it improves. So I'll leave you here with one last piece of video. This is an intersection I had before in the previous version where it kept doing some really strange things like turning left or right when it was clearly supposed to be going straight in the navigation. So I wanted to see if this was fixed or not. It's really simple, it just has to go straight through, but it wasn't doing that consistently on the last version. So let's see how we do here on this one. Little side note on the market here to the left, there's a large solar system installed. We're seeing more of those around this area. I'll talk more about that on my own system in another video as well. Stay tuned. So there we go. Straight through the intersection. Doesn't seem all that exciting, but it was actually pretty amazing compared to the last version for some reason. That's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content and share with your friends. Thanks so much. Have a good day.